Hello, my name is Adamwachuku. Welcome to Tinatalks show. As always, first, before anything, I want to thank you, audience. If this is your first time of coming to Tinatalks show, thank you so much for coming to this channel. And if you are a returning guest, thank you so much also for continuing to support me on this platform. Like I did mention before, this platform is designed just for yourself. You may think you don't have something to share. Listen, you have been through so much that the world is waiting to learn from you. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, I see them as a transferable skills. There are a lot of people out there right now who are demotivated. They are uninspired, but yet they are willing, they are prepared, they are ready to move from A to B. Your story, your knowledge, your experience, your wisdom might just be that inspiration that they need in order to fulfill their purpose. Your story might just be that motivation that they are waiting for. This is why I've created this platform, to allow you to express yourself, to teach the world, because they are waiting for you. The reason why I find it very, very important that we start to look at this area of life is that most of the time we tend to think that the best thing to leave behind for the society, the community, our family, our children, are the legacies of properties, houses, landed properties, what have you, cars, or money in the bank account. But you see, all these things can be dismantled, they can be scattered, they can be sold out, or they can even be spent. But what cannot be spent is the knowledge, is the wisdom, the experience that you pass on to the next person. Now, this is exactly what my next guest is going to be doing with us. She is all the way from Italy. She's an author of many books. She's a mother. She's an evangelist. She is also a motivational speaker. She goes around conferences, seminars around the world, inspiring people with her journey. You do not want to miss this woman. What she wants to take us through is the journey of how she managed to escape a toxic marriage. Now, you have heard me, she's an author. She's a motivational speaker. She's an evangelist. But before that, something happened. Now, but before anything else, I would like you to stay tuned. Yes, audience, thank you so much for that brief break. Now, without taking much of your time, so I'm going to bring her all the way from Italy, Augustina Ekwunife. I hope I've called her name correctly. Now, hey, hello. How are you?
I'm
Good
fine,
to
thank
have
you.
you come to Tinatalks show. It's a pleasure having you. Like, I know you are a busy woman. Square everything. Like, literally, it's a privilege to have you come to Tinatalks show. I know there's so much that we are going to be learning from you. But first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Tinatalks show. Thank you for this privilege. It's an honor sharing your platform with you today.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. You are an
By the way, I love the way you look. You look awesome, and the candle light behind you, it's making me want to relax.
Yeah. Thank you. It's kind of therapeutic for me. I love to create the atmosphere and the vibe that really helps me nourish my inner self. So
great. So yes. Go on. So you
Yeah.
introduce yourself. Yeah. Sorry, I
Thank
stopped.
you, thank you, thank you so much. In simple words, my name is Ekwunife Augustina. I am a mother. I live with my children here in Italy. I am a frontliner in healthcare, and also I am a writer, a Amazon published author of 8 books. And by His grace, I'm an evangelist using my voice to inspire, to motivate, and encourage anyone that comes across me, maybe personally or through my platforms. You can find my books on Amazon, on my website, and also on my Facebook page. I am also a YouTuber. I blog, I love living.
Amazing, amazing. You see, now we're going to, look at all the accolades, all the titles that you just mentioned, the things that you do. How you do it, we're going to be finding out. Because a single mother with children, I don't know how you do all these things, but you see, we're going to take it step at a time. Like I've always said, this platform, Tinatalks Show, is designed for us to share the beauty that lies in what of who we have become today. Who we have become today is not who we are, it's the journey, the experience, everything put together forms who we are. And this is why sharing our story, I believe that this is the time, because we're not only impacting the world, but we are also healing in the process. Now, before you became a writer, an author, motivational speaker, and all these things, frontliner, like listen, we want to know, tell us about your growing up. How was your childhood like? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I am the first of 10 children. So I have siblings here. I have 9 siblings.
Hold on, you are 10 of you, and you are the first.
I'm the first of 10 children, yeah.
Wow. So, being Ada, so what part of Nigeria are you from?
I'm from Anambra State, Igbo.
Anambra State. So that means you are Ada, just like myself.
Yes,
now, tell me, how was it like? How was it growing up being the Ada? And are you the only girl, or you have girls as well?
We are 9 girls, and we have a brother.
Wow. So a lot of, I remember with my brother, my brother would always go for my cream, my body cream. He would go and take it. And then when I go to cream myself, I realized that it's like half gone. Even though he is a man, so with girls, you have something similar. The cream, the hair. What was the challenges growing up with 9 girls?
Yeah, as you rightly said, it was challenging, a bit of responsibility, and because there is this kind of expectations from your family and also from the society, being coming from an Igbo culture and tradition, you will understand what I mean. When you are the first girl, the first born, there's this responsibility, huge responsibility on your shoulder, because you were expected to give a good example to your siblings. So you are not allowed to do so many things. You are not even allowed to make certain mistakes, which we rightly know that mistake is part of life. But there are kind of mistake that you make, it will look like you are staining the honor or the image of the family. So you are kept on tiptoes. You are not allowed. You are not free. You are not free. So you have to always know that there are your sisters are looking at you, your mother is looking at you, your father is looking at you. The society, there are also these expectations from the society. Igbo tradition and culture. It's not easy being the other.
Wow, wow.
It was
I
wonderful.
can relate. I can relate to that because I'm also Ada. And
Yeah.
being Ada is like you are a mother. You automatically step into that shoes of a mother, and every little thing, you know, you need to show example. You need to show example. You need to show example. So there's that pressure.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
how is your mom and dad? Were they there to support? Were they there also? Why all these expectations was coming up for you?
Actually, in the initial stage, yes, but until the age of 5, I was made to, live with my grandma because my parents then they were living at Kano State, and we all know that Kano State is northern part of Nigeria, and my mom didn't want me to like grow up in such a place like the religion, Muslim religion, and the kind of training or teaching I might get from the school. So she preferred that I went to stay with my grandma in the eastern part of Nigeria, Anambra State. So where she want to make sure that I got the Christian education and the rest of it. So at the initial stage, yes, I was with my mom, but later I
Yeah,
have to grow up with my grandma. So even
great.
though they were not present with us, but the authority is being felt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very in the face.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We do say you grew up privileged, or there were. For me, I grew up not privileged. You know. Have you seen in Africa where those, you see those girls carrying oranges,
Yeah, yeah.
granuts, roasting corn on the street? I did that. It was a
Wow,
thing where I had to do it before I could even eat.
wow,
You know?
wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So
Well,
would you say you had it go? You had everything together, like?
not really, not really, but to some certain extent, yes. Because my father was then working with this Italian company called Reka. Those that live in Kano State, we know what Reka was, because they are the one that puts like water, all those the water that they use in the house. So when you talk about NEPA, you talk about electricity. So when you talk about Reka, it's everything that goes with water. So my father worked with them for many years until he enters his pension before he then died. So he supported the family, financially. My mother never worked for once in her life. So sometimes she will have small petty shops, that she never even like maintain, because she know that my father is always there to support. And also my grandma, whom I grew up with, is kind of iron woman. This, we have lots of land because my father was the only son. Okay, so my grandfather left lands, so he has these landed properties. But the problem was being the first of 10 children. All my needs were not always, met. It's kind of, you are not the only one. You have to like manage. There are other your sisters that has to be taken care of. So I got more of no than yes. So sometimes I have to manage the little I have. They were not rich. They were not rich, but we are not poor. So there's this kind of average. Yeah.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And I'm sure as we go on, we will see where the benefits of all this. Sometimes it's tough, but it helps us as we go on in in our life. Now, how did you manage that not being able to have that privileges? How were you able to cope in that? You are not the only one, because for them to give you, they have to give 9. What was the experience for you in that period? or of
You
that
know,
stage of your life?
it was very hard. It was very hard for me
Mm.
because um, I have uncles who would have helped if they had wanted. But when you have an uncle that is kind of selfish, he cares only about
Mm.
his family. So each time I receive no from my parents, like, okay, you need 100 naira, I'm gonna give you 30 or 50. So you manage it. But growing up as a young girl, there are a lot of things that you will need, both for your schools, for your studies, and also for your personal needs like hygiene and all those things. So
Yeah.
now I will like go to my uncle and ask him. He never supported me in any way. His own part was even worse. So it's either I have to manage with what I have, but at a
Mm.
certain point, like when I became like 14 to 16 years, I
Mm.
started joining other girls to do like petty jobs, like
Mm.
people who are building their houses, they will need
Wow.
some helping hand. So during weekends, I
Wow.
don't know what is going, out for party. I don't know what it means to go out with girls. I never experienced that. So
Wow.
during weekends, I spend it to like go to get some works, do some petty jobs, and there's this thing that we call cassava gare. I don't know if so. I will go to our farm land, collect some cassava, prepare
Mm.
it, and then I will take it to the market to sell. Then from there, I will get some money to buy my books or get some things for myself. That one was also challenging because my grandma, as I said in the beginning, she's a woman that you can define as iron woman. So for you to even collect those cassavas was war.
Mm. Wow.
It was war. But she doesn't want you to, yeah, it wasn't
Wow.
easy
Wow.
anyway. Mm.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that so far. That is the beauty. Sometimes when we look back and we just not looking back to look for the pain, but looking back and become aware of the pain, but also realizing that, wow, how did I break through all those experiences? Like how am I still able to stand? That is why I encourage we look back and look at what has happened. It allows us to appreciate where we are now. Now,
Yeah.
as Ada, in the family, an Igbo person, and all those expectations and all that. There is this thing that I know that is very common. They will expect you to be the first to get married, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They expect you to get married now. Tell us a bit. I know it's heavy. I know it's heavy. Trust
Yeah.
me, it's heavy. It takes a huge courage to come and share what you are about to share with us today and what you have even shared so far. At what age did you, or at what stage in your life, did you go into marriage?
Yeah, I got married the first time. Actually, I had two marriages, broken marriages, failed marriages. So the first time I got married, I was at the age of 16.
16. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I'm just trying to work out. Age 16, which means the other ones are younger. That you have younger ones down. Was it as a pressure to support the family, kind of, or was it a thing? Can you tell us? Was there any reason why they had to marry you out like that, or was it a thing of choice? Did you choose to?
Sometimes your parents, it's like who they have been in the past, they tend to like portray such image or expectations over their children. So my mother got married to my father at the age of 12.
Oh wow, okay.
That's the tradition, the Igbo then. I thank God that so many of these things has changed over time. So my mother got married at the age of 12 to my father. And in Igbo land then, I'm talking about like 20 to 30 years ago, from my own town, from our culture and tradition. There is this expectation from a young girl to get married early. They see it as you are a good girl, or coming from a good family with good reputation. So if you cross the age of 20, I'm talking about then, if you cross the age of 20 and you're yet to get married, people start talking and gossiping, and it's like this stigma. It's like something is wrong either with you or with the family, overall. So there's this expectation for you to get married early, and once you get married early, it's like, wow, she must be a good girl. She must come from a good background, a good family. So at age of 11, 12, I started having tutors coming to ask for my hand in marriage. I was always like refusing. It get to a point when I was like 15 years, my mother started getting worried, because that was her own experience, getting married so early. So she also expected her children to get married early, seeing other women of her, So other women, their children are getting married. There's kind of competition also. So she wants her own children to get married too, in that at that early age. And another thing again that I would just want to bring out here is, yes, there was this a kind of get married because you are beautiful, you are pretty. There's this risk of you getting like damaged. When a girl is like, you took in while you are still in your parents' house, or have a baby outside wedlock, in my culture and tradition, is a big taboo. It's something horrible, something terrible. The stigma is, is something that the family will never ever get out from easily. So my mother was very worried, seeing the way I was growing up, pretty, light skinned. She was like, no, if this girl didn't enter husband's house, I don't know what will happen. Boys are coming after her. Everybody, the male side, their eyes are on her. So it's better to keep her safe, and also to like secure the younger ones from not getting spoiled. So it's better she gets married. Once she's in marriage, at least she's safe. Okay, one, she will give also a good example to her sisters. But if we leave her at home, and if anything happens, like a fruit that gets, rotten, you become like a rotten fruit in the family. So they don't want that to happen at all. They don't want that to happen at all. So I had this tension, pressure all around. None of them supported the idea of me wanting to, further my education, because that was my desire. That was my dream. But they didn't want to listen to that. It's like when you enter your husband's house, your husband has to sponsor your education. All we care is that you don't spoil the image of the family. Get married early before somebody else spoils you. So just stay in your husband's house and do whatever he wants to do.
Amazing. It's amazing. Wow. Now I can see where all that is coming from. It's a thing of pride. It's a thing of like a culture, like and without looking at the consequences of what is best for the child. And just like you said, thank God things have changed now. They are not putting that pressure anymore, or looking at what would people say. So things has moved on from that time. Now, having all these things telling you, expecting you to get into marriage, and we will put it there. Were they like a marriage counseling? Did they take you through or advice? Maybe counseling is more modern words of using. Yeah. But did they counsel you about what to expect when you eventually get into marriage?
Well, what happened was this. One day I came back from school. I was in my last year, senior secondary school then. So I was 16. So when I came back from school, I met these people, the father, with his son and some other friends. And it was even my grandma, because my mother and my father, they were still in Kano State then with other my sisters. So I was in my hometown with my immediate junior sister. And so my grandma called me aside and said that, do you know who those people are? I said no. Said they come to seek for your hand in marriage. And this time around, we won't hear no from you.
Wow.
This time around, because the voice is circulating in this town that you refuse every suitor that comes. If you continue like this, we risk you not getting anybody to marry you again. So I just want to let you know about this. So you go in there respectfully and greet them very well. Don't spoil the name of the name of this family. You have said no enough. So go in there and you know what to do. So that was how it happened. I went in there, I greeted them. I just wanted to make my parents happy. I just wanted to make them proud of me. So I did what they wanted at the expense of my own happiness and dreams. There was nothing like marriage counseling, because any marriage counseling would have resulted in me saying no, I will not go, because I don't know him. I wasn't in love with him. I had other perspectives.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the fact that you were 16. Yeah, exactly. You were 16 and possibly still a virgin.
The problem. The problem was also that my best friend got married like a month before that time. She was engaged to get married. So like, your best friend has gotten married. So what are you still waiting for?
Wow. Did they tell you, like, okay, this is what marriage is all about? When your husband, this is how you cook. Don't say no to your husband. When your husband is upset, did they even tell you anything, or they just wanted to go there and learn yourself?
Well, that was the language that nobody speaks then. It was like discussion, a conversation you never had. You never have that kind of conversation. Sorry, you're saying something.
I know. They don't discuss. Yeah. They don't discuss things like that.
Yeah. It's something that I never experienced such conversation with my parents or with my grandma anyway. How to sleep with your husband, what to expect as a 16 years old. So you are meant to
get there and learn.
Discover as you go in there, day by day, week by week, gradually, you discover things.
Go there. Wow, amazing.
Go there and learn.
Wow.
Then we teach you. And he was 16 years older than me, because I was 16 by then. He was 32.
He was 16 years older than you?
Yeah, he was 16 older than me. He was 32 years old. I was 16 by then.
Wow. You have really demonstrated, obviously there is that thing about being obedient to your parents, just want them to be happy despite, at your own detriment, at your own happiness. You just have to follow the flow. It's obviously doesn't sound like you didn't have that time to grow and learn a few things for yourself, but you had to go into marriage to actually become a woman. Now you are married to this someone 16 years or so older than you. What was the experience now? Now you are married to this man. Because again, you had to learn something. The behavior of the man, how he was, if he's a violent person, if he's a calm person, if he's tell us, how was this experience? Now you are married. What happened?
Yeah, when I got married, the traditional feast, the celebrations, it was fun. I was having fun. Because to me, that was what it was. I was just having fun. You now belong to that category of girls who are good girls.
Yeah, I know.
So, but then when the reality of it started blowing, I was like, what am I doing here? Who are you? What is happening? I was confused. I wasn't matured. I wasn't ready for that. No, it was really tough. It was really tough.
Did you love him? Did you love him?
Let me say that I started liking him later, maybe after a year or two, because he was a nice person, frankly speaking. He wasn't a bad guy. He was a nice person and he loved me so much in his own way. And he tried to protect me, but he couldn't because of some certain reasons. And the reasons was this, at the age of 32, what happens to girls also, the same thing happens to the other side, the men also, because once you are above 25, 27, 30, you are not yet married. The family started complaining. So that was what happened to him. They wanted him to get married also, but he wasn't having the financial ability to get married. What happened was that the junior brother sponsored his marriage. But the parents really want him because the junior brother wanted to get married. So it was like, you can't marry before your senior brother. Just like they do to us also. When your younger sister wants to get married, they say, no, you have to wait for your senior sister to marry before you get married. So the same thing happened to him. His brother wanted to get married. He has the money, he's an import and exporter. He goes to this Cameroon, Yaoundé, and yes, the parents, they had a meeting, family meeting. If you have the money to marry, then first of all, marry for your brother. Once you're married for your brother, then you can go ahead. You can't marry if your senior brother hasn't got married. So that was what happened. He had to sponsor him to marry me. So when I came into the family, probably they never expected him to marry such a young, beautiful girl. So there was this kind of jealousy between both of them. The younger brother now become jealous of him. Like, the wife is so young, still a baby, so beautiful. And he was like, you don't have mouth to say. He sponsored you for the marriage, you can't raise your voice. So he was like bullying me, he was treating me bad, the younger brother. And my husband then, he could not defend me. So each time he want to complain to his father or this, he was like, you don't have money, so we even marry for you. You should be happy. You are ungrateful, So they don't want to see anything wrong with the way the younger brother was treating me then. And that was what led to the end of the marriage, actually, because he really loved me. He spent gifts, he lavished me with gifts. And the father, they always complain, the way you are treating this girl, you will spoil her, this and that. But this girl, that's my wife.
Exactly.
So and when he wanted to take me, like, they couldn't allow him to take me to Cameroon because he was in Cameroon by then with his brother. So they didn't want him to take me to Cameroon. They want me to stay in the hometown and like a house. I was like a house girl to the father, to the mother, and because the father married 2 wives. So they have like their brothers. So it was a very big family of almost 12 siblings. So all grown men and women. And whenever all of them comes, I'll be the only one, because I was the only one that's, the newlywed, the only girl that came into the family. The other ones haven't gotten married. So it was my husband being the first son that got married. So I have all the responsibility of taking care of their brothers, the parents, the house, sweeping, cooking, cleaning. I was just like a maid. I was just like a maid. Having come out from my family where they were like, we are 10 siblings. And, as I mentioned in the beginning, the whole responsibility of taking care of the home, I was like a second mother to my sisters. At that early age, at that tender age, at 16, got married, and also repeating the same experience over there. I have to clean, I have to cook, I have to go and fetch firewood, I have to go and bring water. And when all of them are at home, you go to the stream almost 4 or 5 times getting water because they have to bath. It was challenging. And his younger brother was never happy. Anything I do, he would just complain. When I'm cleaning the parlor, he will walk in with his shoe and leave dirty marks all day, and I can't complain. If I complain, fire.
Fire will be.
My husband will never complain. He will never say anything. So later he said, okay, if I can't take her to Cameroon, can I at least rent a house? This girl is working too much. It's not good for her. Can I rent a house and an apartment at Mpo or Onisha. They said, with which money? With family money. Wait until you have made your own money. Then you can take her to London if you want.
Wow.
So I stayed in the village, and everything was until the marriage get to the
Wow. It is. Thank you so much for sharing that so far with us. Like, how do I say? I can see the challenges there, and it's quite amazing that you use few positive words for your husband of that time. That it was nice, but it looks like he was also under pressure. It's like two people who were pressurized from both, his side, your side. Now you guys meet. Like it seems as though you didn't know what to do with each other, basically.
Exactly.
So the family was like in control. So the two of you didn't see an opportunity to actually get to be married.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it sounds to me like if there's any form of abuse, it was coming from the family.
Exactly.
As opposed to from him.
Exactly. And being at that tender age, I was broken. I was traumatized. I was confused. Emotionally, I was broken because I wasn't mature enough to handle all the tension and all the stress that was going on there.
Of course. So
for how long that age?
Yeah. So for how long did this all happen? From that 16, for how long did it happen?
Yes, the marriage lasted for, let me just say, 3-4 years.
4 years.
3-4 years, but because I really did not even get the support that I needed from my family. My mother did not want to hear anything like
divorce.
Didn't just want to hear the marriage, failed, that you come back. What would the village say? What would the people say? What would the town? No, you can't just do that. You can't.
I know.
You can't. You are the first of your sisters, 9 sisters. You are the first. So if you come back from your husband's house, nobody will come and marry your other sister, because everybody will say those people, they don't stay in marriage, so you don't just go there. They will not stay. So, in our tradition and culture, if a marriage fails, it's always 99.9% is they give you. They blame the woman, they blame the girl, they blame everything. Blame is on you.
They could not even be of help. You couldn't even cry to them to say, "This is what I'm going through."
No, my mother didn't want to hear that. Not at all. Not even my father.
They don't want to hear it. I know. That stigma, is so. Looking back, thank God things have shifted from that time to now. Things has really shifted. Now, it lasted for 3 to 4 years. How did you find the courage to now finally leave, knowing that your parents would they would strangle you, they would not want that? Where did you find the courage and the strength to leave that marriage?
Well, to me, it wasn't marriage, because I didn't even know what marriage was all about at that time. So he was a stranger to me, though he was nice. Okay, just like having a big brother that is nice to you, or like a classmate that was nice to you, or maybe growing up, because we grew up in a church. So maybe, to me, he was just like one of those person. It can be any other person. So I didn't say anything so special. I wasn't having this emotional attachment to him. So I liked him. Then we had our first child. It was a baby girl, which I had at the age of 18. So, but you know what? Once you are not happy, once you don't see any reason staying in such a relationship, whether you have courage or not, one day something will happen that you will just make up your mind and say, I'm leaving. Whether my parents want me back or not, I will find a friend that will, I can stay with. I'll find something to do. I just want to go out. I don't mind the consequence. I will go. That's all.
At this point, definitely, that was brave. That you were prepared. It sounds like you were prepared to face it.
Yeah,
It's not
yes.
about my parents now. Like literally, I'm enough of this, enough of this. Now, when you had your first daughter at the age of 18, at this time, were you living together or still at the family home?
See, I conceived the first time at the family home, and when I shared, but I didn't even know I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant because
I
it
can
was
imagine.
it was another woman that I used to spend most of my time with in the same time neighborhood, their family, extended family. So I used to spend time with this woman. She was like 3 or 4 years older than me. She already have like 2 kids. So when I wasn't doing anything, I would just go to her and stay, and we'll be chatting or doing one or two things. So she looked at me one day and said, "It looks like you're pregnant." Because my mother wasn't there. My mother was still at the Kano state. She used to come during Christmas and then go back. It was later on that she finally returned and settled at our home place. But by then, it was only my grandma, which I don't normally see. She died I think few days after we did the final ceremony when I got married finally. So that same week she died. So I was having my grandmother on the side of my mother, but I could not. She too is kind of woman you don't have to complain about your family
Too
issues, your
much, yeah,
husband
like you
issues.
said.
She don't want
Yeah.
to hear that. So I didn't have anybody. I wasn't close to any of my family anyway. There was this woman that noticed the changes in me. She was like, "You are pregnant. Are you sure you're not pregnant?" I said, "Pregnant what? What do you mean by pregnant? See, you're carrying a baby in your stomach."
Wow.
I looked at myself. I said, "You are
Wow.
kidding me. It's okay. Eat that rice I gave you. Eat it." I couldn't eat because this is rice, kind of jollof rice that she prepared. I love so much.
Yeah.
But that day I couldn't eat the rice. I told her that it's like you put onions too much. I don't like the scent of onions. She was laughing and saying, "You're pregnant. You're pregnant."
Yeah, you will start to avoid food and all that.
Yeah.
Good
The
thing.
smell.
Yeah, that now what I want to know is you were able to manage to find this courage to say, you know what, enough is enough. I am coming out. Despite which means sometimes you just have to take the bull by the horn,
Yes,
sometimes you just have to say enough is enough. So the marriage was dissolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I packed my things and I left. There was this pride on his own side. I never knew he loved me then when I was with him. It was when I left after some years later I discovered that he was really in love with me. And I came to understand that he was also pressurized, and I then realized the extent of the pain and the hurt he was going through then, So because when I left, there was this kind of, I thought it was pride from his own side, like I was expecting him to come and beg. I wanted to, my really intention then was to force him to take decision as a man.
Yeah.
Because I was really tired. I didn't know to whom I was married. Was it married to him or was I married to the entire family? Yes, in our tradition, you are expected to marry to the entire family in sense of, accommodating them, tolerating them, understanding them, respecting them, helping them. But then I really needed to spend some time with the man I was married to. I really need to learn more about him, come to understand him, know him better. But I never had that opportunity. So I was tired. I was tired of staying there. I felt like I was just a small housemaid. I never had a voice. I never had, I can't say anything. I can't complain. So it was when I left, expecting him to come after me, come and beg. He sees the small child for me, saying that I'm not going with his child. A baby of 2 months and 2 months, 2 months and some days. So when I left, I said, okay, if you are going to keep the baby, I want to see how you are going to breastfeed the baby. So definitely you will come and look for me. The family, immediately I left, the father, the mother, and that his brother was very rich. They said, you are not going to beg her. We are taking the child to motherless babies home.
Wow.
You will never, in our culture, a man does not beg a woman.
Wow.
So when they took the baby, they sent the child to motherless babies home. When after a month or two, I heard about it that they have sent the child to motherless babies home. So
What?
I never wanted to come back. Yes, I never wanted to come back to the house again. That was even the more reason why I refused to go back. But I tried to get in contact with the child. I tried to beg them to let me have the baby. There's no need of taking the child to a motherless home when the mother is still alive. Why should you
Exactly.
take the child to a
Exactly.
motherless home?
I was gonna say, so why didn't they keep the baby instead? Also,
It's
why
a
did
kind
they?
of punishment. They want to punish me for having the audacity and the courage to quit the marriage.
So
Who do
really?
you think you are? Who do you think you are? Just a woman. We can marry 10 other women. That was what they did. They married other guests to him. He's currently, I think he's having like 4 or 5 women.
Wow. So just to get at you, they didn't want you to keep the child.
No.
Because you try to run away from the all their toxic way of treating you. So did the child ended up finally at the orphanage home?
Yes.
How did you manage to get the child back? I mean, this is really tough.
I never got the child back. She stayed there. They hid the address from me. They hid every information from me, and I was alone. Because when I wanted to get my family to fight for me, my mother said she never liked the family. She wasn't happy, but she didn't know how to encourage me. And you know that our townsmen, my father will be against her. So hence I've made up my decision. Nobody will blame her now. Nobody will say that she was the one that encouraged me, but she never liked the father, the family. So though she liked my husband by then, but she never liked the family, and especially that younger brother. So she was like relieved on one side that it wasn't that encouraged me to come out.
Yeah.
But I never had any like support to go and fight to have my child back. So my grandmother one day she told me, "Stop crying over this child. We are tired of this your cry. You are a woman. You have other children in future."
Wow. Hold on. You are a woman, and you will have more children.
I was 18, but I was already a woman.
So that you should forget about where the child is.
Yes.
That you get more of them.
Yes, in future. I will get married in future, and I will get more children, as many children as you want. So forget about going after that one.
Audience, the reason why is, see, this is why I do what I do. You see, this is the story behind a powerful woman that you see today. This is what sometimes the beauty, or when we look back and we see, sometimes we want to become somebody. We envy people. We want to be like them. We think, oh my God, they've got it all rosy. But when you hear where they're coming from, you will appreciate it even better. Now, this is a journey of a young woman. There's so much coming up. Like, listen, just keep where you are. Now, that was just too much. I need to kind of see clearly with my eyes, So now, where is this child now as we speak? Like now, right now?
She's a young woman. She's no longer a child.
Is she with you now?
She's 30 years old, and she's living in America. She's no longer a child.
My God.
She's 30 now.
So, thank you for sharing it so far, honestly. Now, this child, how did she manage to go to America?
Well, she stayed in the orphanage, if I'm not mistaken, for like 1 year. Enough time for him to get married and wed with another woman, to another girl of the same age I was. I think the girl was 18 years too. So they forced him to get married. But on my own side, I was thinking he was the one that, he never loved me. He didn't even care. He didn't want to come after me. He just took the child and put to motherless baby's home. And before I know it, it's already so. If you never loved me, why did you even agree to marry me in the first place? I never knew. It was later that I now discovered that I was the father. and the junior brother was, pride. So
yeah. So
they forced him to marry. Yes, they brought the child out after the marriage and everything. So the child started living with her grandmother, my ex-husband's mother. So she grew up calling her mother. She grew up thinking that the woman was her mother. So
do you
anytime I try to come back, or try to not come back to the marriage, but to get in contact, at least to be seeing my daughter, to be talking, no way.
No way.
But what hurt me most was that why did my people never fought for that child?
Yes. Yes. You make me cry now. Oh.
Why did nobody, none of them, at least you have your own children, you are a parent, you're a mother, you know what it means to have a child. Why did nobody?
Why did they fight?
So I have to bear the pain.
Or to even fight to allow you to see the child, even if it's once in a while, to bring that to the table to discuss. Okay, she has left the marriage, but this child, let her at least once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, do you have contact with that child? With that?
Yes.
I mean, I know she's 30 now, and so, but she's still that child.
What happened that was this? I think after maybe at the age of 4 or 5, because they noticed that I was roaming the town, that they find out that there are some friends in that in their hometown. Some of my friends, then they wanted to make me meet the girl accidentally. So when the mother or the father, the grandmother or the father wasn't around, maybe I would just come and meet the girl. So when they noticed this, there's this movement, so his younger brother came and took the girl and took her to stay with them in Cameroon. So she left Nigeria, she went to Cameroon at the age of 4 or 5, and she stayed there till, I believe, at the age of 14. She came back. I met her at the age of 15, when she was already 15 years old.
At their place or on the street?
No, I was here when I heard from my sister that she came back from Cameroon, that the wife of the uncle, the father's junior brother, was maltreating her, beating her with her belt. In fact, she showed me all the marks on her body, the way she was beating her and maltreating her. So when she got to the age of 15, she decided to either they take her home or she will commit suicide. So that was how they brought her back to the village. So once she came back to the village now, she thought that the grandma was her mother. It was then that some of her friends then started also telling her about her life story, which she never knew. So that person you called mom is not your mother. Do you really know who your mother is? She said no. Do you want to know who your mother is? Yes. We will show you. We will show you where she come from, her father's house, and we'll tell you her name, everything you want to know about your mother, and how she left. So that was how she came to know what really happened. And when she started asking questions, probably in the past, she was asking questions, who is my grandmother, this and that. They were hitting her head with lies. So it was this first night that cleared the whole doubt, and she started asking for me. She started looking for contacts from my people, my sisters, and by then my sisters has also grown, left our hometown. Some of them are in other states. So she had their contacts, started calling them, visiting them, and also started visiting my mother also. And from then, I heard that she wants to see me. So I was already here in Italy anyway. I was already married to the second marriage. I was already having my other children. So, but immediately I heard that she's in my hometown and she was looking for me. So I bought tickets immediately and I went home. And that was how we met finally.
Oh my God.
She was 15 then.
Oh my, that must be a beautiful moment. I can just imagine how it sound as somewhat somehow about my story. That was how I looked for my mother. So many stories I didn't know about my mother. I had to find my mother. I had to look for my mother. And the day I saw my mother, I didn't know I was in the age of between 16, 17. I saw her. This woman just ran to me. And I was like, who is this person? And two of us just fell over some bags of rice because she was in the market square. It was in the market square, yeah, with my aunt, whom I thought was my mother. You know, because I cried that I want to see my mother. You know, so we two of us fell. I'm like, who is this woman? And my auntie went, yeah, you want to see your mother? There she is. There she is. And then she told my mother, your daughter, she said she want to see you. Me, I'm gone. And then she left.
Wow. Wow.
I had to make my way back to where we were living, you know. So, my dear, amazing. You see, I'm so happy that you were able to connect again somehow.
Yeah.
And I hope that you continue to keep contact with her. Now, would you say you find happiness again in the word marriage in the second one?
Absolutely not.
Wow. Wow. I know the first one is heavy already. It's really, really heavy. So I wouldn't want to go too deep on that. But I just want the audience to understand your journey, to appreciate who Augustina Ekwunife has become. I mean, the journey and you know, to treasure you like a diamond. You understand? Now, obviously, a woman, you know, sometimes you're like, I wish I could be lucky this time. Like this time, let me go into another marriage that is coming my way with the hope of really enjoying this time what marriage is all about. Because the first time I was, oh, sorry. Oh my God, what's happened now? Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
don't worry. Everything is clear here.
Yeah. So obviously the first time there was a lot of compromise. There was a lot of things happened that let me go into one. Maybe this time with my eyes open. So would you say you were ready for the second one to have the experience of being married and making your choice this time? How was the second one?
Yeah. Okay. I think this is shaking the network.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah. Okay, it's clear now.
Clear now. Okay.
Anyway, what happened is this. You know, when I got married the first time, as I've already said, I was kind of confused. I wasn't ready for the marriage, and the whole thing created a kind of trauma. You know, I have not yet healed from the trauma, from the confusion, and I wasn't really accepted back when I came back to my people. So my mother one day said to me that it is better I leave our hometown and maybe go to anywhere than to stay with them, because staying with them, she's like the talk of town. Like other women are like, you know, mocking her that her daughter married and come back. So she wasn't comfortable having me around our hometown. So I have to leave. So that was what made me to now. I left my hometown. I traveled to Kano State. Kano State was where my father was staying. So I was hoping to stay with my dad then. He didn't want me to stay with him. He wanted me either to go back home or to go back to my husband's house. It wasn't safe for a young lady like me to, you know, like other men will come after me. So he didn't see it safe for me to like leave the marriage or leave my hometown. So it's like they want to force me to go back to the marriage. So, but I stood my ground, and I happened to I made up my mind that I'm going to stay with a family. This is our family friend that lives in Kano State then. So I made up my mind that I'm going to stay with them, because although we have been in contact from time to time, we are family friends. We have known each other for years. This my ex-husband, the second one, I went to the same primary school with him. When we finished primary school, it was in secondary school that we were divided, because in our hometown they have girls' school and boys' school. So they were not allowed, girls and boys were not allowed. We don't have anything like mixed distance.
Yeah.
So that was when we now separated. But we weren't so intimate. We are just friends because our parents were friends. So even before then, I got married for the first time. I got married, and he knew about it. And when I come back, when the marriage failed, it was talk of town. So he also had the story. So when I went to stay with my father, he refused. I tried to hang out with them, just to stay in their house for some time until I'm able to get something doing. And we started, going out together. We started dating. We started coming closer, and that was how we decided to leave Nigeria to Italy. He got this information from somewhere, and he was talking to me that they said, I want to travel to Italy. So I told him it was risky. The way he wanted to travel, it was very risky. So he said, if you wait for me, when I come back, I will marry you. So, but you must wait for me. I told him, I'm not waiting for anybody, and I'm not allowing you to go to Italy alone. It's either we go together or you're not going anywhere. So that was how we left Nigeria and we traveled to Italy.
Together.
So
far, it sounds like fairy tale.
Yeah. In some way. But he himself, he wasn't really matured. I don't think our intention was really to marry, because I never wanted to marry. After the first shock and the first trauma, I wasn't ready to marry. But he himself, yes, he loved me in his own way. He was still young, but by that time, I met him at the age of 22. Okay, I was then 22 when we started dating and we started going out. So, and he was 21, because I'm 1 year older than him. So he was 21, I was 22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I know that in Igbo culture, his parents will never allow him to marry a woman that has married before and had child. Not even at the age of 21. They will not. So my heart wasn't there. I wasn't even expecting it. He was the one that from time to time we mentioned that, said that I wasn't taking it serious. So when he brought the issue of coming to Italy, I saw it as something, interesting, something that may be an opportunity for me also to travel out. I said, okay, I'm not going to wait for you here, because I don't know, maybe you will get to Italy, you see a white lady, you marry. So if we are going together, or you're not going anywhere. So
I know.
Yeah. So a fairy tale in some way, but
somewhere,
it was disastrous because he wasn't ready for marriage when we got married. Because what happened was this: I being a girl that grew up in a Christian background, you have the first marriage failed, you have child that's and then you are dating another boy or a man, because at the age of 21 it's no longer a boy. So I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't being me. I was like, you are sinning, you are committing adultery, you are committing fornication. So each time I go to church, I feel like God's eyes is upon me, the pastor's eyes is upon me. I wasn't comfortable with that idea of us continue the dating issue. So it was like, it's either you want to marry me or we end up this dating, going out. I don't want, because everybody's talking about me. That was the most stupid thing I did. Very foolish of me to have come up with that topic. So it was like he himself didn't want to lose me. So not that he wanted to marry me instead of marry, because he wants me as his woman. Yeah. Some men want to have you as their woman. Yeah. But they don't want to share you, not even with their own children. This is a very strange thing to say, but it happens. Some men will love their wife, and maybe they are not ready for children. They just want you as friend, want you to spend their time with you, to maybe build their life together. But if a child comes up, maybe unplanned for, so if the man is not mature enough to handle it, the relationship will start shaking.
Yeah.
So he wasn't ready for family. That's the right word, family. He just loved having me as his girlfriend or as his woman or even getting married to me, but he wasn't ready.
Yeah, he wasn't fully ready.
On the process, I took in for this, my first daughter. We are already here in Italy. So when we noticed that I become pregnant, he said, I'm not going to have my child outside wedlock. I told him, if he didn't marry me, it's going to be wahala. So now what he did was to go and send money home to pay my dowry, to do the ceremony, because what would the church say? What would our parents say? It would be like a shame, both to his family and to my family. How can you do such a thing? You know? That was how we got married.
Wow,
we never planned to get married. We never planned to have family.
And so after that marriage, did you how many children did you end up together having?
5 girls.
5 girls. Wow.
We tried to make it work. We tried to force ourselves into the reality that we found ourselves, but it never worked. You can't force. You can take a horse to the river, but you can't force a horse to drink.
So
I wasn't happy because that was not my dream life. That was not what I want. On his own side, he's a nice person. Okay, he's not a wicked man. He's not a bad man, but he's a young man that is yet trying to discover his identity. He's trying to find his identity. He's trying to build a life, his dream. He's not yet realized. He's still working on himself, and he needs space and he needs time. He wasn't ready for the family. You understand?
Would you say? Yeah. Go on.
On my own side, being a woman, you're not having a child with him. He has already paid your dowry. You have already wedded in church. So it's like I gave up on any other perspective, any other aspiration or dream. It's like, this is your life now. So you just manage it, push along.
Wow. Would you say that if you were to take back the hands of time, because I could see, like you said, he wasn't really ready. There's something about pressurizing, even yourself, to be pressurized by the fact that you are in this religion concept of Christianity where it seemed to be a sin. So you were also pressurized by your religion, and he also been pressurized by the fact that he wasn't ready and he didn't want to lose you. So would you say that there was some sort of pressure going on?
Yes.
Yeah. Did it affect the beauty of the marriage? Did it lead to a kind of any abuse in any form?
Yeah. Because we ended up, we didn't choose the marriage. It was the marriage that chose us. I don't know how to put it.
It was circumstantial. Circumstance.
The circumstance, the situation then warranted that we get married. So it wasn't something that he decided or he wanted. And I myself, I was like, it was like I wasn't having any option. You already carrying his baby, so. But I cried the day he mentioned about us getting married. I cried because when we came to Italy, I found out that I've taken in. But when you come close to somebody, when you are dating in father's house, we are in father's family home, and there's the father there, the mother, everybody. So it's kind of he would not want to open up, or there are some of his characters you will not see because he would like to maintain some image, okay? Present himself as a good boy or a good man. But then when we entered Italy, I discovered a lot of things about him I never knew.
Yeah. Girl, you've been on a journey of discovery.
I never knew that he does drug. I never knew that he takes marijuana, and not only marijuana, but he takes other kinds of drugs, which he tried and managed very well to hide from me and from the family. I never even knew that he smokes. I could even, vow or that he never, but I never, it was here, it was in Italy, I discovered who he really was. And
who he
that
was
that
at
wasn't
that
the man
time.
I wanted. That wasn't the man I wanted for myself. I
Wow.
wouldn't have ever had him as a friend, talk less of
Wow.
husband.
Well,
I will never go out with somebody that takes drug.
Yeah.
I won't even go out with somebody that's an alcoholist, talk less of, no.
So
I
something
wouldn't.
like that. Now, definitely, me too. Now, again, audience. I mean, it's preference. It's my preference. It's her preference. There are some people that will say, "Oh, I like the bad guys," you know. So if you are watching and those type are your spec, it's okay. You know, we just express. I'm not here to judge anybody, so that's just my spec, and then it's not my spec, and she just expressed that it's not her own spec as well.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to, understand is, first of all, we've seen that so far, most of your life and the marriages that you've been through is a thing of, there's some sort of try to make something work. It has not been a thing of choice. It has been very circumstantial, and which led to a lot of things going wrong. I read one of your book. You described about becoming ill.
Yes.
To the point where you almost lose your life. That I could say it's a miracle that you are here today. So what would you say is a kind of stress? Because in your book there's something about stress or what you went through all built together to bring you to that place of health issues that God had helped you out of it. Can you tell us a little bit about how the stress you are going through the marriage, how it influenced your health?
Yeah, what happened is this. In the process of trying to answer some questions, there are questions that you don't have answers to. So in the process of me trying to, ask myself deep questions and trying to, find answers to these questions, it becomes obvious to me that if I continue in that relationship, it's either I lose my life or I lose my sanity. So, as I said, he is not a bad person. He's just a broken man.
Yeah, he was broken too.
A broken man in the sense that he had this high expectation from his father. Okay, he was expected to get to Europe, become rich, and come back and support his family, make his other brothers rich too, because he has 7. There are 7 of them. Okay, he has 6 siblings. So his mother especially has this high expectation. He's the one that the family looks at as very intelligent, So he was carrying this heavy load on his shoulder. He's not yet, he hasn't realized that, expectation. He's still working on that. He didn't know how to get to be that person that the family really wanted him to be.
Yeah.
On the process, he lost who he really was. He didn't even know who he really was. So he started having friends that are toxic to him, friends that want to make, hit money. So you hit money at all costs. Put your hand in anything, risk. What matters is that you hit money so that your family, the village, the town will regard you as big boy, So that landed him to prison, which he spent like 2-3 years. I managed to bring him out.
Wow.
And when he came out from the prison, he was no longer himself. I think he refused to admit that he was depressed, but I saw him as a depressed man. I saw him as a man that like frustrated. So having this load of not being able to satisfy that high expectation from his family, coupled with the fact that he's now having family that's kept growing, and he's not the kind of person that opens up to say, I don't want children. He was like looking at this way, like, if I voice this thing out, I might hurt her feeling. Which man in his right mind senses will not want a child? But I noticed that each time we have a new child, like he's keep distancing himself. Okay, he doesn't take any responsibility in bringing up the child. Even to take them to school, it's like you are forcing him to be part of those children, to go and drop them at school or go and bring them back. He will just be crying like a small child. So you notice that this man has something going up here that he needed to be tackled or deal with. But pride won't allow him to, allow me to help him. You don't want me to help him. Because I noticed that something was wrong. We need to, work these things out. Let's seek for help, professional help from people who are trained. He said that I can't, that it's like I'm now seeing him like someone who has mental, who has problem, So he refused to see anybody outside me and him or his family. He didn't allow anybody to come in to like try to help us sort things out. So the family didn't want to.
Yes. Sorry to cut you there. Because what I see that is happening here is why even I can see you trying to repair him, try to make him better. But what you were not seeing is that you were also broken.
Yeah.
And you were being broken in the process as well.
Yeah. I was no longer living, my sister. I've already given up on myself. My life, everything wasn't my priority any longer. I just wanted to create a home that is at least comfortable for the children to stay in.
And especially I can see because you coming from a family back in Nigeria who wouldn't want to hear that you got into the second marriage and you out again. So that added this pressure of trying to make this marriage work, even though you were dragging, the process was dragging you down as well. Because I read your book, and is it Roa, a powerful book, and you were being dragged at the same time, and you yourself, you needed someone to take some baggage off you, and in the process it cost you to become ill. What was that again? You suffered medically? What was that?
I had a kidney problem, and I did a laparoscopic operation. Laparoscopic operation on my right kidney and right urethra.
Did they tell you the cause of it?
I think it was accumulated stress, because before the operation was the last one, but before then I started having illnesses. I was falling sick here and there. I was having some issues in my body, and when I go to hospital for checkup, they will say they didn't see anything. So it's like my body was just deteriorating, and I was falling sick, having headache, migraine. I was always sick. I don't mind take care of myself anymore. I don't like take care. My eating habit was very, very poor, because I have to run around trying to fix things.
And you had a business. You had a business.
I was having a boutique.
Business and working at the same time. How did you manage 5 children, business, like try to fix the home? I mean, even if it's a machine, it will break down eventually. I'm not surprised that cost you to go downhill in your health. So after this operation now, and all that, were you still? So tell me, where is the marriage now? Where is the marriage at this point?
There is no marriage currently now. I've quit the marriage. We have, separated. The whole case is still in the court. But the problem is that he gave up on us. He gave up on himself. He stopped living. And I still see him as somebody who needs help.
Yeah.
But maybe the parents back home, the mother died 2 years ago anyway. The father and the brothers, their expectation is still there. They still expect him to come back. As long as he's in Europe, there's still hope. But what they fail to understand is that their son is literally dying. So they're supposed to at least help him get some cure. Because what led to me falling sick, he stopped taking care of the family. For 11 years, he stopped working. It was like the family, the children that we have is something that I think that was the final blow for him, because still struggling to build that image that the family expected him into, which he was not able to, and which led him to prison. Coming back, was frustrated, discouraged, and I believe he gave up also on himself. Wow. So we don't want to see anything like, don't talk to him about family issue. If there's bill, if there's rent to pay, you don't want to hear about that. You don't want to hear, because it's like more stress to him. It's like stress, like so a body doesn't want to talk about. Yeah. So nothing was on me.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, that led to, to the breakup of the marriage. There is something that I thank you so far, because this is really heavy. Me listening to it, I'm like, you are brave to, somebody hearing it now. We're coming closer to the big who you are, and they can see, the drive to who you are today. In all these things, did the children, somebody might be watching now wondering why you were going through this, it sounds like a lot of psychological things going on. Sometimes we think children are not experiencing it, but they are. Did the children experience this stress that was in the air as they were growing?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So how were you able to manage them?
I think the children was the main reason why I quit the marriage. Yeah. Because as I said, I've already given up on myself. I knew I was dying on the inside, which was also evident on the physical that I was dying. But that wasn't much important to me anymore. I wasn't really. I no longer cared whether I live or die, because I didn't see any reason why I should, even try to say, okay, let me go on or even live. So I was just there. What happened, whatever will happen, let it happen. But then it get to a point, I thought I was staying in that relationship for my children, so that they will have a father and a mother, that image, that presence that is very important for them. So, and also as a Christian family, as an evangelist, I don't want my children to grow up away from their father. But then I realized that me staying in that relationship, the children witnessing quarrel, we raise voice in presence of the children, which is very wrong. And he disrespecting me in front of the children, because he was hurt. They say that hurt people hurt others. So no normal person goes about hurting another person. So he insulting me or shouting at me or threatening me, because sometimes he threatened my life, that I will kill you, I will do this to you. All these things are happening in the presence of children. Maybe when he's high, he went out. It's frustration that led him to do all these things. He go out, he will drink or smoke or do those things, and then he come back and you want to complain there's no food in the house. He'll start shouting at you, So all these things were damaging to the children, and the children seeing their mother cry, all these things are damaging. So it came to a point I said to myself, you think you are staying in this relationship because of your children, but indirectly you are damaging these children. You are damaging them emotionally, mentally, though physically there's no physical abuses or beating. He doesn't beat the children, but both of us are no longer.
We are picking something, psychologically.
The environment was hostile for the children. It's not a place for any child to grow up into.
Would you
So
say
it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy.
yeah,
It wasn't a healthy environment. The relationship was toxic to both of us, even because he's
yeah,
not happy staying in the relationship. I wasn't happy staying in the relationship. He doesn't want to leave because he wants me. I don't want to stay with him unless he's a changed man. So I was trying to fix him to make him become the person. You can't fix another person. The only person
wasn't
I can fix
working?
was me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
why at some point I tried to like, okay, just take your focus away from him, focus on yourself and your children. That was when I started discovering something about me after the operation. So I started discovering something about me that I like. I started minding my own business. I just leave him to be. I don't ask him anything again. We are just like two strangers sharing apartments. So when he comes in, I go out because of my work and the boutique. My senior daughter was helping me. So I tried as much as possible to spend less time
Less
in the house
time
with
with
him to
him.
avoid quarrel or
Mm,
anything. So
mm.
uh, so that was how it
Wow,
happened for
wow.
some
Now,
time. Yeah,
obviously, yeah, that the best interest of the children, because
exactly.
is so would you say in conclusion that for the benefit and the health of the children, this marriage, you have to find a way to come out of this one to protect.
Definitely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have to leave that marriage. I have to quit that marriage because
To save your
I
children.
myself,
Mm.
I was already damaged.
Like you
Okay, I
said,
was
yeah.
already hurting. I was
Mm.
already in pain. But I thank God for the grace. I managed to like package myself and keep going on, for the sake of the children, because they must have a roof over their head. So you have to pay rent. There must be light and gas for cooking and warm, everything.
Was
So I
it?
was trying to do all these things.
Yeah.
You understand? But then you get to a
Did you?
point I started falling sick.
Yeah, I know. Did you? So what happened? Because there's a lot of people that somebody might be watching right now and they are in the same similar situation and they are wondering, they want to hear, how did you, on that fateful day that you finally say, that is it? How did you manage to say, this is it? Like, did you pack the children? Did you leave home, or did you change the lock, or what did you do?
Well,
Or did you tell him
before I
it's
made up my
over,
mind.
and you told him it's over, and he just said okay? Like, what happened on that fateful day, where, because there's always that moment of, this is it.
Yes.
I remember.
I think the breakup started so many years back. It wasn't a decision that I just took that day. I've already been contemplating on that decision, and I've already said it to him. I said, one day I will leave, and he never took me serious, because he said, where will you go? You are a Christian mother, you are an Igbo woman, you already have 5 children, and people will say you have married before. So he never took me serious for one day when I said I will leave. So sometimes he even start mocking me. It's not the first time I'm hearing you will leave. Leave now. You have said you will leave 20 times. So why? What are you still doing here? And he'll be mocking me in front of my children. So it get to a point. I went to the social, to our community here. There's a place you go where you ask them for help.
Yeah.
So I went there and I told them, this is what I wanted to do, because I know that if you don't seek for their advice, if you do anything because of the children that are involved, you risk them coming after you. Because he even threatened me. He said, if you go out, if you take my children away from me, I'm going to make sure that you lose the children. So for fear of not losing my children, I need to involve the community here. So once they already knew about our story, because even the police, everything, they knew. So once I told them, yes, I've made up my mind that this is what I wanted to do, they say, okay, we will help you get an apartment where you will pay less to start with. So you start from there. So that was what I did. Before I finally took the children away from the house, I made sure that I got another apartment.
Okay.
So once the apartment was ready, home and we packed our the network. Can you hear me?
Wow.
Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying we packed out of the house when he wasn't around, because if he had to be at home when we are packing, maybe fights.
Yeah, yeah,
It can lead to
yeah.
bloodshed. Anything can happen. You
Yes,
understand? So
yes,
I managed to do it when he wasn't around. So
yeah.
once the children are safe, once I myself am safe from him, I called him and I told him we are no longer in that place. So you know that if you don't pay the rent, they are going to throw you out of the house. The bills, if you don't pay, they are going to cut the light and the gas. So from now on, you are on your own. So from then I went to meet a lawyer, and then I filed for divorce
And all that. Amazing journey. Amazing journey. So many experience. Now, audience, like I said from the beginning, she's an author of 8 books. A mother of 6, right? Is it 6? 7. Yes. A mother, I want to make sure I add everybody together. Yeah. Yes, so they are all your children. 7. And she is also a YouTuber. She motivates greatly, motivating the world out there in social media platform. Now, would you say all this experience put together were a motivation? How did you start writing? Was it as you said to yourself, you know what, I'm going to put all these things down in a piece of paper and share it with the world? What did you learn? What did you learn in the process of all this journey?
I started writing not because I wanted to be a writer, but during those years, I'm always alone. Maybe after putting the children to bed, you're just exhausted. I'm not the type that likes watching television, you know.
Me too.
So I like to jot things down. So at a point, I started thinking, these things you are writing, do you know you can make up a story, you can make up a book? Why don't you write your story and share it with the world? Maybe you can encourage somebody or even inspire somebody to do better or to become the best version of themselves. So that was how it started. Just from jotting down something on a piece of paper here and there, it later becomes
and that led to your first book. Which one? What? Roa, is it Roa your first one?
No, my first book is this one here. You Can Succeed.
I can see it clear. So what is it called?
You Can Succeed, You Can Prosper, even in time of crisis.
Bless. Yes, I love that. Hold on. Show it to the audience again. Audience, that is from a woman who you've just listened to her story. Now, where's the second one?
The second one is this.
Yeah, so which ones do you have right now? I know that they are all online, prone.
I have
There's
this
so
one.
many.
I also have this.
So,
I have this.
Wait, hold on. Let's talk sex. That one, I need that one. Time to rediscover our history. Now, you have written another book about the lockdown. What was that one?
I don't have a copy here. The last time I ordered some copies.
How to survive during lockdown. How long did it take you to write this book within last year, 2020 and 2021, to write a book already and publish it? Woman, you are talented. You know that.
It depends on the content and also how many pages you want. Like some of them, the ones that I wrote, it took me like 6 months to write. The last one you just mentioned now about the pandemic and the lockdown. because it wasn't really voluminous. It was small. I think
Yeah.
it should be around 60 pages. It was a fast read.
Maybe somebody might be watching you right now and they want to start to write a book. How do you get your inspiration? Is it from how do you get inspiration to write? Knowing that you work full-time, you are a full-time frontliner, yeah? You are what they call the essential workers, the frontliners, people that are taking the bullet.
Yeah.
Doing it full-time, you haven't got time. Now you are a mother of 5 children living with you right now. Am I correct?
Yes.
So how do you juggle family life, work, and being a writer? You are such an inspiration to so many women out there. Audience, as you can see, like, everything is possible. Like, I've spoken to her before now. She had always said, when you are passionate about something, you would create time for it. I have learned so much from this woman online. I follow her on all our social media handles. On YouTube, you can find her there. I don't know if let me put her back on back all her social media platform. You can find her, follow her on social media. Augustina Ekwunife. Sorry if I keep getting it wrong. On Instagram, the same. On YouTube, go there and you would. And also, if you want to have a grab of any of these books, go to Amazon. It's a bestseller right now as we speak. It's a bestseller. You know, like literally, you would learn so much because of the time. You know, I wouldn't want to take much of your time. I would have said to pass something to us. But in her books, there's a lot of wisdom there. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of experience. She has shared some of them. But what did she learn from that? What were the gold, the diamond, the treasures that she gathered there is all packed in her amazing book. Am I right? Because I've read one of them and it's okay.
You're right.
Audience, she has shared that with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Is there any I want to say this, you know, I know I wouldn't end without saying this, that for all the journey you've taken us through so far, there's something about you that I admire so much, that you were still able to see the weaknesses that they all had, that it wasn't more or so of their fault, but you were able to see that there was something. You were able to separate what was happening and the person. That it's not about the person, but it's about what the person is carrying.
Exactly.
And that had impacted or contributed to the way that you were treated.
Exactly.
You know? That it's not, you know, it's not everybody that are able to see that.
Exactly.
I'm able to see that because I'm trained in that area, and I could see how you effortlessly separated what was the problem and the man and the two of them that you were married. You separated them effortlessly. Exactly. You know, if I was in a counseling room right now, I'll be fighting tooth and nail to try to get to separate it for the client to see the difference. But you did it effortlessly. And also, I think you mentioned one time to me that you were also studying psychology. So it's a great thing. Audience, there's so much you can learn from this for this amazing woman. You know, she had shared all of them in her book. I would say go there and grab it. I want to say thank you so much. Is there anybody you want to shout out to? Anybody you want to shout out to? You know, anybody? Before we close, before, you know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, none. There is none. I would have loved to, on this platform, at this point of time, to say I have someone to shout out to. How I wish, at least, that there is one person that I can say thank you for being there for me. None. Even the pastors that I had here, wanted to take advantage of me instead of to support me. Seeing that I just come out from a marriage, instead of getting support, they were like, let me take advantage of her,
of our vulnerability.
Yeah,
Okay,
your time of
would you say
vulnerability.
let's bring it closer to home? Would you say the kids deserve more of the shout out, the children?
Yes, I was coming to that.
Yeah.
The only person that really I give all the glory and praise and shout out to is God. God helped me in so many ways. Even when I was about giving up on myself, even when I was losing hope, God was like my anchor. He was everything to me. So I thank God I was able to create this relationship between him.
Yes.
Throughout all these years of ups and downs, what I was going through. So I always have conversation with God. I always spend quiet time. I drive my strengths, my inner strengths, from spending quiet time and having conversation with God, asking him questions, and through prayer and meditation, I managed to keep going on. God is my strength and my power in all these things. And secondly, the two people that I want to give shout out, not only two, my children, they are 5 living with me here. The younger ones are small, but the 2 senior ones, they were able in their little way to understand my decision and also to support it. So they are good children. I bless them every day. I thank God for having them, because if not, if they are like wayward or like stubborn children, or or the things that happen among teenagers. So I really thank God that they are the kind of person they are today, and they really supported me. They take care of the other younger ones when I'm at work. If without them, I will find it difficult going to work or doing anything. So they are really very supportive. So I thank God and I bless them. I bless them. I thank God for their life.
You are privileged. God has really put them together. Thank you so much.
My children. That's all.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Augustina. It's a pleasure. Like, it was heavy at the beginning.
Permit me to say something. I want to send this message to anybody watching this program. Okay, if you're a woman and you are in a toxic relationship, and worse still, if you have children with you, please, when we talk about toxic, we're not like advocating for women living their sweet and healthy relationship, sweet and healthy home. We are talking about toxic, something that is damaging to both you and your children on emotional level, psychologically and spiritual, even on financial level. So please seek the exit door. If you have tried all you can in your power, you have prayed, you have seek counseling, and the thing is not getting better but getting worse, instead of you to stay there and die physically, there are women who have been assassinated or killed, or for you to die in such a relationship, it's better for you to live. And for you also to die on the inside. There are people who are like a walking corpse. You see them on the outside dressed with makeup and everything. They put on the smiley face just for the status or whatever. Please, your children are involved. You can manage the situation if you can. If you have the power to manage, fine. But remember, these children, once they are in that relationship, in that toxic relationship, what you are doing is that you are damaging those children, and they are going to grow up as damaged adults, and they are going to form their own family and raise more damaged people that are going to form a community, and we're not going to end this cycle of toxic. So it's better you stop it with yourself, so that your children will have the opportunity to grow in a healthy environment, in an environment where they will laugh and play like other children, and not have to witness their parents fighting each other, raising voice and quarreling every day. It's not good for their heads. But they are too young. Their brain is too young to elaborate certain things, to analyze certain things. They might not even understand what is going on. And this way you are damaging them on an emotional level. It's not good. Please. Don't worry about the word, what people will say. People will judge you anyways. People will condemn you anyways. Okay, but it's better you are alive and alone and enjoy your life and be happy than stay in a toxic relationship where you are dying, where you are being damaged, and when you are raising children, damaged children.
That is it. That is it. This is a wonderful message coming from Augustina Ekwunife. Instead of, it's better you are alone by yourself and your children in good health, because when you are damaged, while you are being damaged, your children are damaged along as well.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
That is what it is. When you are going through stress, do not think that you are the only one going through stress. The children are also going through it. They are being damaged, and you don't want that. It's safer, better for everyone, if you separate and cohabit in a way, look after the children from a healthy stance, as opposed to damage them in the process, even though it's unintentional, but what we need to know is that it is happening. It is happening. We may not see it. The children might not see it, not know, but it will play out later on in their future. So thank you so much, Augustina. It's a pleasure. I can't thank you enough for coming to empower us on Tinatalks show.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you.
Audience, I don't know about you, but I have learned so much. Like literally, they say a word is enough for the wise. I'm sure you have picked one or two words, one of two: knowledge, wisdom, experience. You can see where a journey can take us to. And for me, if there's nothing else I've learned in this journey of my guest, I have taken away the fact that even though you are in a toxic relationship, it becomes important for your health and for the health of everyone if you're able to separate what is happening, from the problem and the actual person. She has allowed me to see that because she was able to do that, she's able to have that clear heart that does not contain hate. You see that? So if you're able to separate, this is why I love what I do. Even though my guests, I'm the one interviewing them, I'm learning in order to impact. So if you also, and you can also see that no matter the journey that you've been through, you can also become, you can see how she managed in the process of everything, she managed to reinvent herself to be who she is today. If you are watching me right now, you have been affected by any of this story, like I mentioned before on my other, the last time on the other show with my other guest, Tinatalks show, we have in-house counselor and a psychotherapist who is able to deal with emotions should you be affected, or maybe you are right now experiencing similar situation. We are here to help. Do you have any story to share? Something to impact on someone, to motivate them, to inspire them, or to show them a way out? Do not fail to contact us. We are waiting to hear from you. It's me, your host, Adam Wachuku. Until next time, and bye for now.